This is Jennifer Palamas from Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is Barbecue Central.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling, broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening. We are jam-packed. Last-minute ad within the last hour or so very excited to talk to our 1014 guest. We'll get into that here in a second. If you want to get in touch with the show, here's how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the bbqcentralshow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening. Coming up in about 13 minutes from now, it's usually the third Tuesday of the month guest. However, not this week.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Barbecue Hall of Famer Steven Raichlen is in air right now, literally in a plane, going to destinations unknown. As we know, no names, please, rule one of the show. There's probably another rule that says, and we're not going to be talking about where he might be because some of you are loony. And especially if you've been keeping up with the news here in Cleveland, I'm not going to tell anybody anything. You never know. But filling in for Steven Raichlen, a heavyweight in his own right, both in the pit making and the contest putting oning and in the competition scene. KCBS board member too, by the way, Randall Bowman, 9:14. And then at 9:35, she is a regular contributor to this show. I almost say monthly, but it usually goes a month or two or sometimes three. There's been as long gusts up to 6. Where we don't see her, but she's back in. We're going to be talking a little Memphis in May coming up, amongst some other things. Famed barbecue and grilling blogger Robin Lindars, the Grill Girl, is in at 9:35. And then we'll move to the second hour at 10:14. This is the late add to the show. He is a fit griller. He is the Sam's Club tour director now for the 4th season. And we'll be talking about the first locals wrapping up, heading into the first regional final in Las Vegas this coming weekend. Michael McDearman, McD, as we call him here on this show, at 10:14. And then helping me close out the show tonight at 10:35, she is the Snake River Farms beef maven, if you will. Free steak on call, by the way. Anella Kelso will be joining us in what I believe is a Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
She'll be talking about the Snake River Farms Brisket Challenge. We'll go in kind of at a high level. Well, we might get into the weeds a little bit on that. Dig down, see what it is all about, how you can qualify, what you might win. But more importantly, the exclusive news update, and if I'm speaking out of school, I apologize if the dates have already been announced, but I believe they're being announced here, or the locations. We will be announcing on this show tonight where the Snake River Farms Brisket Challenge locations will be this competition season. Right here on the Really Big Barbecue Show. How about that? If you want to get in touch with the show, I'm more than happy to have you. Fit in where you get in, 216-220-0966. email Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and we will have no less than 2 separate winners for the Snake River Farms Wagyu T-bone steaks, both weighing in at about 2 pounds per. Oh, Nelly. My mathematics might be wrong, but if one steak is 2 pounds, hold on, let me get my pen up. If one steak is 2 pounds, and then the other steak that you get is 2 pounds, 2 plus 2, carry the 3, that's 785,000 pounds of T-bone steak per winner, give or take a couple 100,000 pounds. So we will get one winner that gets 2, which is a total of 4, but 2 pounds each of the Wagyu T-bone steaks. And then we will get another winner who will get a pair of 2-pound T-bone steaks. About $170 for your retail value right there. You can go to snakeriverfarms.com if you don't feel lucky and buy your own. Why not? Also, Easter was this past weekend, but there's many Mother's Day coming up, a lot of great holidays, whether you think they're card holidays or real holidays or whatever, and maybe you don't want beef, you don't want a prime rib, you don't want other steaks. They have a great selection of caribou to pork products as well. My favorite, the bone-in ham, which is special occasion ham, as we call it here in the Rempe household. But if you've never had one and you're willing to shell out a little bit or you're willing to save for a little while, this is a special event ham that you will not be disappointed with. So check them out at snakeriverfarms.com. We'll be giving them away here in the second hour. Or maybe the first hour. It depends. McD won't be the whole 10-14 segment. We're just going to hit him up real quick because I'm probably pulling him out of high-level discussions with people that are very important. He's also getting ready to get on that TV show shortly. If it's not already out, we'll talk to him very briefly about that as well. But what can I tell you? All right, let everybody know the show's on. Send them to the Facebook/BBQ Central Show. Send them to OutdoorCookingChannel.com/watch-now, longtime video syndication partner of the show, or Roku, or the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com, where you can hear the show in live, high-definition audio, the way that it was meant to be heard, and the show was never meant to be seen. Trust me. It was never meant to be seen. So a lot of you know that I was in Philadelphia this past weekend doing a roadie for the No Names Please nationally competitive, and after this weekend I use that term loosely, but the national level 16U volleyball team is trying like the Dickens to qualify for nationals in Minnesota. We last stopped this past weekend, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And here's the question that I have for people that are familiar with the city. Philadelphia city people, why does your city stink? Like literally, it reeks of bad smell and urine and just unappetizing smells. Like a lot. Annoyingly so. I don't catch smells like that when I'm in cities like Chicago or Indy or Louisville or even downtown in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Columbus, Ohio, the state's capital. Nowhere else has smelled like this. And this is not a joke. Like, people in Philadelphia and the city own up to that. Like, it's a bad news. It is not decent odoriferous emanations that are evolving from right downtown. Now, historic, great tours, wonderful food, and I have to say that, yes, indeed, I was asking for the cheesesteak input. I got a lot of input from a lot of people that don't live in Philadelphia. I got a lot of input from people that do live in Philadelphia or around the general metropolitan area. And I got like no less than 57 different inputs on where I need to go and places I should avoid. And in the end, after we did not qualify again,
Get that big stuff out of here.
I was like, I've had enough. It's going to be a 7-hour drive home. I just want to leave on Sunday. My wife was like, no. We're here. We're going to hit up Geno's. Let's get a Philly cheesesteak and see what it's all about. And I know it's kind of touristy, and Pat Steaks is like literally across the street. But I have to say, That Philly cheesesteak was tremendous. The beef was good. I got mine Wit Whiz. If you don't know, they offer it, a bunch of different ways. If you don't like Wit Whiz, they have Wit Provolone, Wit American, the white American, the orange is Whiz. And the fries were absolutely phenomenal. I was mightily impressed with Geno's and the location and all of that. And a lot of people were down on me for going to Geno's, selling out, going to the tourist trap, as they called it. But I have to say, it was delightful. I would go back. Next year, if I decide to go back to Philadelphia, and the olfactory sense will be taken into account, we might do the cheesesteak crawl. Geno's, Pat's, Tony Luke's, Sonny's, Joe's. I think there's like a million, right? So that's the review of Philadelphia. Up next this coming weekend, Kansas City, Missouri, baby. Coming to see Plowboys. Coming to see Joe's KC. Coming to see Slappies. Is it Slappies? All right, folks, let me talk to you quickly about the Pit Barrel Cooker. If you're pulling the trigger on a new cooker, I understand it can be nerve-wracking sometimes. Temperature control, fire management, what woods to buy, who needs the hassle. Might I strongly suggest a Pit Barrel Cooker. Pit Barrel Cooker makes it simple and fun. Might be the most unique, versatile, and easy-to-use cooker available on the market today. Imagine one that can turn out to be great traditional barbecue meats, but also ramp up in temp to do burgers, chicken wings, and hot dogs. Versatility, all thanks to the revolutionary design that goes beyond traditional convection. Their hook and hang method places the food in the center of the heat, so it's acting like a stationary rotisserie. Not only is the Pit Barrel a fabulous cooking vessel, it's aesthetically sexy as well. Built to withstand heat, thanks to its porcelain enamel finish, the Pit Barrel able to withstand any type of weather. It's also extremely portable. Fits in the back of most trucks, vans, and SUVs. Basically, it's just ready to go wherever you are. Of course, they have all the accessories that we always talk about here on this show. New out this week, stainless steel rub shakers, and they are beauties. Check me out on the Instagram if you haven't seen them yet. BBQ Central Show on Instagram. I post the pictures. They're great. Best part of all, for $299, the Pit Barrel's fully assembled, ready to cook on, and it ships free right to your door. Not only does the cooker ship free, everything they sell ships for free in the lower 48. How about that? The folks at AmazingRibs.com have just awarded it. Now, 4 years in a row, their highest rating, Gold Division rating, I might add. It's the best cooker ever. What can I tell you? 4 years in a row in their Gold Division? You got to be kidding me. Head on over to pitbarrelcooker.com and see what everybody's talking about. Be sure to check out their full collection of short how-to videos. Pick up one or two for yourself. A great housewarming gift for people if you have some people moving into a new house, or maybe you've moved into a new house. You want to make friends with your neighbor? Get him one too. You're going to be buddies for life. 502-228-1222 is the phone number. That's 502-228-1222. Find out what great customer service is all about at pitbarrelcooker.com. Randall Bowman out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. You love to barbecue, you love to compete, and you love to win. Do all three with help from Smithfield. Since 1938, Smithfield has been producing high-quality fresh pork products, and they now invite you to get smoking with Smithfield. If you're a competitive barbecuer, you can join the Committed Cooks program. Members who commit to cooking with premium, hand-trimmed Smithfield fresh pork will receive swag and other great prizes. Commit to cooking with Smithfield. See what everybody's talking about on the barbecue circuit. Hit up smokinwithsmithfield.com. That's smokinwithsmithfield.com for all the info. I'll have to hit up Emily Detweiler and see what the deal is with remaining spots and so forth. All right, joining me now, a pit maker of very high fame. He is also a competitive barbecue cook. He is also a KCBS board member. Enough of the small talk. Let's get right to the hotline and welcome back friend of the show, Randall Bowman.
You may hang up or press pound for more options.
Right. What? Randall. Hello? Hello? All right. There's Randall. Oh. I just hung up the phone and I'm playing the sound effect in my ear and wouldn't you know, I faked myself out. I'm like, well, I know I just hung up the phone. Why is that thing still playing? I don't know. All right, let's hope. Maybe I wrote down the wrong number here. Maybe I didn't. Blah, blah, blah. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, no, that's right. We'll try them again. I'm going to put it on mute this time because I don't want to sound unprofessional. By the way, I don't know if you saw it or not, but after, it's very hard stringing, one show and then having to take a break for 8 weeks. But Chad Ward did have a show. He'll be off for the next 6 weeks. Randall, are you there, buddy?
I am.
Hey, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you, Keith?
Randall Bowman, everybody. Randall Bowman, everybody. All right, lots of different places that we need to take one Randall Bowman here on the show this evening. So I guess before we, do you have a particular place that you want to start out at?
Oh, I'm totally up to you. I'm an open book. I don't know if you've got any specific questions or if you want to talk about any topic in particular. I'm wide open.
All right. Well, I sure do. So let me start with this. Let's start with the hard stuff first and work back to the stuff that you actually really like.
Okay. Well, that sounds wonderful.
I've talked with pitmasters over I guess it's kind of been an ongoing conversation for years and years. But I would say over the last, let's say, 3 or so, we talk in depth about team of the year, how it's put together, length of competition season. And I've always been a guy that's like, hey, let's get one thing right out in the open. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should ever disrespect a team or lessen the work that they are putting in during a competition season if they are going to be doing 35 plus events during the course of a calendar year. Do you agree?
Oh gosh, not at all. That's
okay.
That's a full-time job in itself.
Absolutely. So a huge amount of expense, monetarily, huge amount of expense, time-wise, which also equals money, all that stuff. So I want to get that right out front. That being said, there isn't a huge, if you look at how many people are registered in KCBS. I don't know what the percentage of people that are just members versus people that are teams.
Right.
But there's got to be a much smaller percentage of teams that are willing to go 35 plus in order to make a team of the year run. So
sure.
Is there opportunity, is there discussion that is being kind of held in a continuing basis that says, is there something that we can alter or offer a multitude of people to satisfy different levels? Maybe a gold level where you have 30 plus a year, maybe a silver level team of the year where you're between 15 and 25. We could make up 25 different scenarios if we wanted to, but that's a waste of time. What are your thoughts on something like that? So, and it's not let's include everybody and everybody gets a participant ribbon and everything like that. But, there are certain levels of competition that people want to do, and I'm wondering what your thoughts are and what you're hearing from some of the other board members and cooks.
Well, and first off, I want everybody to know that I've been part of KCBS and loosely active in board operations for a number of years, and I have to tell you that this is probably the most cohesive board that KCBS has seen as far as really trying to put effort into working together to find solutions. There's very, very little infighting. Very few disagreements. There's a lot of compromises and a lot of really good people working together. And on top of that, there are some really big things in the works that I think the membership base as a whole are going to be shocked and extremely excited about over the next, 6 to 12 months. And then we'll go right into the team of the year. I think, I hear these arguments from people of somebody's out there saying there's only 20 teams cooking for Team of the Year, and I don't know what the exact number is of who's truly cooking for for that Team of the Year status. I don't know if it's 20, I don't know if it's 50, I don't know if it's 500, but I know that it's a small percentage that is cooking 35 or more events a year. I think the window of opportunity is certainly wide open for different levels of people. There are some great cooks that cook 10 events a year. And probably, I don't want to take away from the guy cooking 35, but there's some that can only cook 10 because of their job and not getting time off or their financial situation. They don't have sponsors supplying them meat or whatever it may be in their situation that are not as good a cook as some of these guys cooking 35. They're just not in a position that they can do that. And they certainly need to be rewarded as well for being excellent, far above average cooks. And then it goes back into a financial thing, because then you start talking about having to bring in partners who are willing to help fund some of this stuff, and sponsors who want to support Team of the Year programs and prize money, and there's so many moving parts to any Team of the Year points race that it'd be great to be able to break it into 5 or 6 different divisions and give hundreds of thousands of dollars away. But the reality is we as an organization just don't have $500,000 sitting there ready to write checks to reward everybody. I think there's some things in the works with some manufacturers of products for prize monies to give product as gifts deeper, even to reward people that have cooked well. I think there's a lot of things in the works you guys will see soon that will show you we are listening. We're not just 12 guys sitting in a room that are too scared to make a decision. We are actually making a lot of decisions, and a lot of big ones that everybody will see. It's just some things can't happen instantly. There's a method to the madness, per se. You've got to really think all the variables out before you just jump.
From a competition season, one of the other continuing conversations that we have here on the show is basically you run from January to the end of the year. Very long season. Is there an opportunity for more people to participate in a Team of the Year style cook where they don't have to log 30, 35 plus events, but they have to commit to, let's say, a 3-month season or a 4-month season instead of a 12-month season?
There have been a lot of scenarios presented from board members, from committee members, from cooks, and just from random, almost anonymous emails. A lot of these are really, really great ideas. I think one of the big stances I took when I ran for board was, I think we in the past have been putting Band-Aids on things to just patch them rather than really come up with a solution to try to fix them. And I personally want to try to logically think some of these things out and not just jump to try to make a decision. But I think there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of things that probably should be looked at a whole lot more in depth, and a little more pencil to paper put on them to see how feasible they are and if they'll work. And even more importantly, if as a society we can financially support them past year 1 or year 2. Because the worst thing we could do is launch a 5-division Team of the Year with X dollars in it, and then year 3 not have any funding and have to change it all again.
Randall Bowman joining me here on the show, talking a little KCBS here. From a financials perspective, if nothing changes and it continues down the same road, the teams put in the time, the effort, the money, and all that stuff, and at the end of the year, they're recognized by the sanctioning organization. But there's very, very little reward other than saying that, X year they were Team of the Year. They're not on Today's Show. They're not being pimped to Food Network. They're not doing all this other stuff that, you would like to have if you're putting in that effort to be now kind of brought out for the public to see and for KCBS to get by and say, hey, these are our top guy of the year or top gal of the year. Is that being worked on? Is that kind of a misnomer? What is that about?
No, all of it's being worked on. I mean, and like I said, I wish financially we could give a lot more and had more ability to give, even more perks as far as, TV deals and agents and connecting them with the right people and things like that. And I think this will all come in time because I do think that some of the moves that are being made will enable us to offer more towards our membership base. With the international programs growing, with the Kids Q programs growing, with television changing our sport as a whole, I think we're going to see a lot of other doors open. Companies like Smithfield, just in the last couple of years, have shown much more interest in not just team of the year and things like that, but individual teams and individual events. I mean, you look at the grant program that they rolled out this year, and look at the commitment to cooks that they've done, and they're getting it, and they see where this can go. And I think that they're at the forefront. I think you're going to see other large companies recognize this and come in. We are a huge consumer demographic that, by all marketing standards, is probably the most ideal consumer segment in the United States. And anybody that has a disposable income that most of our average members do, to go spend $800 to $1,200 a weekend to cook a barbecue contest for a chance, really at this point, to win a ribbon and a small check, is a pretty good consumer to have loyal to your brand.
Randall, I think there's a unique dichotomy that is in competition barbecue right now. I think that you still continue to see growth to some degree with new teams coming in, and there's a lot of organizations that are part and parcel to KCBS, like a Nebs or a Mid-Atlantic or some of these types of organizations really looking to bring new teams in and help grow the sport. But from a TV side, and maybe it's just my opinion, but I have to believe that as you don't see it on TV as much anymore, or you see it kind of tweaked out into some weird chopped situation. I think there's a tired palette of TV right now, and I don't know where the next wave of making it cool again or keeping people's interest is. Do you worry that it's kind of growing a little tired on the TV side?
I think right now what we're seeing is that I think when it comes to the traditional barbecue pitmaster style show that we've had over the last few years, I think that segment is dying. I think just with the number of shows being cast right now, the number of barbecue personalities getting primetime TV commercials, I think the number of cookbook deals, and the biggest segment right now is kids cooking shows. That is a massive segment that's being cast by every major network all over the place. And it's all based around food sport. And keep in mind, when I talk about TV and other things, I'm not just talking about just straight KCBS 4 meat type stuff. Grilling a hamburger on a propane grill is good for barbecue sport as a whole too. And I think that I don't think we've hit the peak yet. I am concerned we will hit the peak at some point, but I think we've got a ways to go.
Randall Bowman joining me here on the show. Randall, do you think that there should be a requirement of KCBS teams to be members of the KCBS in order to take part in KCBS events?
I do.
By the way,
amongst that's been a discussion amongst cooks, organizers, board members. And I see both sides of that. My view is I don't necessarily think you should have to be a member to cook at a KCBS contest, but I think certain benefits of being a KCBS member should maybe not just be readily available for free. Simple things. The detailed score sheet that we give out, I think that should be something privileged for a member. Little things like that. I think there should be a lot more information on our website. I think there should be a lot more membership perks for our membership base, which is one thing we're working hard to do. I think that we have to create more value to the membership to make it to the point where, your question doesn't even come up, because you want to be a KCBS member to cook a KCBS contest because of all the perks that come along with it.
Randall Bowman joining me here on the show, talking some KCBS. Randall, let me transition out of that, and we can pick up a KCBS discussion again next segment that we have you on. Also, you are in the business of barbecue, making pits. Where does that stand with you right now, and what are you hoping to accomplish here in 2017?
Well, the barbecue smoker business is amazingly busy. We stay as busy as we possibly can. We're about 10 weeks out on orders right now.
Wow.
Which I would say is probably from what from other manufacturers I've talked to, is right in the realm with a lot of them. We kind of all talk, those of us that are close enough to be around each other, and we are all kind of amazed the amount of money that keeps being spent on smokers, because especially in my situation, I'm not talking about a $800 or $900 smoker. We're talking $4,000 and $5,000 and more, and we're certainly not having any customers shy away from buying them. And we're in year 5 now, and we've never not had some orders sitting ready to go. The international stuff is getting big. We get contacted almost daily by someone internationally. We ship on a regular basis somewhere internationally. So I think that's going to be a huge segment we see in our industry too, is everything overseas.
What's the website for people to hit up if they want to check out your smokers?
It is DeepSouthSmokers.com.
Are you surprised at the amount of international garner that everybody's getting from from an American manufacturer's standpoint? I saw a lot of it at the HPB Expo. A lot of Europeans that are really catching fire with this and really trying to take it to the next level.
Well, I think it kind of goes back to, barbecue is kind of America's cuisine, at least in our variation of it. And I think a lot of these foreign countries want to be able to cook American barbecue. And I think that they have seen the TV shows over the years, and they look at some of these things, and they want the best they can buy. And unfortunately, some of these countries don't have the technology or the ability to build some of the stuff we do, or the experience. I mean, just smoker manufacturers alone, in my home state of Georgia, I mean, we've got 6 or 7 that are nationally known, smoker manufacturers that are all building smokers that are successful on the professional barbecue circuit. So you see these foreign guys come over in awe and amazement of some of the technology we build into ours, and they want that. We get a lot of guys fighting to be the first one in their country to have one. I sold a couple to Australia a few years ago, and there were 2 different people fighting to see who could get theirs first, because they wanted to have the first one in the country.
Not a bad position to be in, right?
No, not at all. And it's really neat because the excitement level and the competition, because the contests for the most part overseas are not high dollar ones. I mean, they're not having these $30,000 and $40,000 and $50,000 contests like we have in some parts of America. So, I mean, it really is kind of back to the passion of just the competitive nature and wanting to cook.
Randall Bowman is on the board of the KCBS. I can be found at kcbs.us, also making really great pits. You can find them at deepsouthsmokers.com. Randall, always appreciate the time, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
Always.
That's Randall Bowman right there. How about it? Answering some real questions that I've been talking with pitmasters about.
All guests on the Barbecue Central show appear via the Smithfield Hotline. Yummy.
So, and I think it's about time, we get back to that every month, maybe once every other month, at least once a quarter visit from KCBS. I'm getting a good vibe from Randall. I've exchanged emails with him over the last handful of months. He's always been very reactive, very open to coming on. So, I struggle with Team of the Year because I think that it is pinned towards a very small percentage, and I don't have a lot of answers other than different versions of Team of the Year, depending on how you're going to do it. But we'll see how it shakes out, and we'll keep up with that. If Randall's our guy to go to here over the next year or two, or as long as he's on, we'll take Randall. He speaks well. I like well speakers on this show. Robin Lindar's coming up out of the break. Folks, if you didn't know already, Big Papa Smokers is the one-stop shop for anyone interested in barbecue, featuring a comprehensive selection of all American-made grills, spices, sauces, accessories, even a kit that gives you everything you need to make a world-class smoker out of a 55-gallon drum. Big Papa's made a name for itself by making an award-winning line of championship rubs, and in so doing, pretty much won everything ever in the competition scene. They've also banded together with Kello fellow California-based rub company Simply Marvelous Barbecue to form what has now become known as the West Coast Offense. Defying conventional wisdom, these two California-based rub makers have cornered the market on competitive barbecue, begun to redefine the flavor profile that competitive cooks from across the country have begun to aim for. They've even created their own unique competitions, the King of the Smoker and the Guinea Pig. Guinea Pig, of course, is that cost-controlled event that helps bring newcomers into the world of competitive barbecue. Featuring prize distribution all the way down to 10th place in each category, that helps provide incentive to get new people in and keep the savvy vets coming back. They also have that BPS Elite team that features 15 of the best teams in the country. They work together to promote camaraderie, competition barbecue, and benefiting children's charities across the U.S. And they've been able to do all of this with like 6 years of being in business. Are you kidding me? They turn the competition barbecue world on its head. They create their own unique competitions. They are also a staple of a nationwide restaurant chain, that being BJ's Restaurant Brewhouse. And most importantly, they're benefiting children's charities across the U.S. Just the beginning for Big Papa Smokers. Still, got to have Sterling back out here shortly. He's always a fun cat to talk to. He's probably got some Team of the Year ideas we can pitch around. All right, Robin Lindar is coming up out of the break. As I'd mentioned, stick around. We'll be right back.
Ready to get on the air? Call 216-220-0966. Now, let's get back to the LeBron James of barbecue talk. Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Green Mountain Grills, manufacturers of some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. If you're looking for a cooker that can house a lot of food, they got the large one. They also got medium. They also got small for like the tailgate stuff. You're completely covered when it comes to sizes for Green Mountain Grills. Check them out at greenmountaingrills.com. I love my Green Mountain Grill. You could love your Green Mountain Grill as well if you would just go to the website. What can I tell you? All right, my next guest can be found here roughly once a month or so. Memphis in May is coming up. We're going to be talking about that just a little bit, as well as some other items. Robin Lindar is joining me here on the show. Robin, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Absolutely fabulous. Always appreciate the time, Robin. First of all,
we always have fun, don't we?
How's that little grill master of yours coming along?
He's doing great. He is very funny right now. The other day I asked him, Hunter, where's your cars? And he goes, no say. And I was like, and then I realized he was speaking Spanish.
Yeah, right. You didn't know that was Spanish right off the bat?
No, I knew it. It just caught me off guard because he was like, no say, and like his little baby talk. And I just wasn't expecting it.
Wow.
No, he's doing great. He's doing great.
All right. So
he's a funny guy.
May is fast approaching, literally. And What do we know about May? Memphis in May, it is one of the biggest barbecue competitions during the course of a competition season. And it is unique in the fact that, it is kind of its own freestanding situation. Know, the American Royal tied in with KCBS, the Jack, I guess has kind of been a long-standing kind of independent, but there's a weird gray KCBS thing. Maybe it is fully KCBS now, but a lot of them have type of sanctioning body, but MBN is a freestanding situation. You've been attending those and being kind of like a helper or part of another team, let's say that. And this year,
more of a participant,
if
you will.
Yeah, the Grill Girl has really stepped it up a notch or 10. And you're going to be competing in Memphis in May with your own team this year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I have to really kind of say thanks to my dad because this has been he's been super into it. So he was kind of behind it. And along with our friend Patrick Hilson, who are people on the ground that are local in Arkansas, which would make it possible because I think coming from South Florida, it would just be too far. But, I think after being on a couple different teams and learning more about it, we just all kind of had the itch to just go out and do our own and govern our own team and kind of control things from the ground up and see how we do, and it's been really exciting. I mean, it's a ton of work and I have to thank, everyone's really chipped in, but especially I'd say Patrick, And you may know Patrick. We were on Two Sauce to Pork together, and then Down to Smoke last year, which Mo Cason was on as well. Funny enough, I was doing grilled pizza in the tent, and now Mo is doing grilled barbecue pizza on Little Caesars now. There's it's just funny.
Is it funny or is it funnified?
No, it's funnified.
Yeah,
That's
of course,
right.
funnified. Wow.
Yeah, but so no, it's really cool. And our name is Porkville Justice League, and if you look at our logo, it looks like all these little barbecue superheroes, and it's just a very cool, diverse team. We have a lot of neat players, and we actually got Robert Sierra to do our beef turn-in.
Oh,
so
wow.
we've got a really interesting mix of people. We got Robert Sierra, we got Antonio Chu, who owns a barbecue food truck in Memphis. We have Doris, who owns it's called Cisco's Kid. She just opened a fried chicken, hot wing style restaurant in Memphis. So we just have a lot of really, I don't know, I think we have a lot of great talent. We got some good sponsors. I actually got Smithfield to sponsor us, which I was pretty stoked about.
Nice. They love barbecue, man. They're
really into
totally.
Just was it Randy before was saying, they're getting very much involved, and actually it worked out that they sponsored us on the barbecue side, because I'm already doing some stuff with them on their marinated pork line. I'm their marinated pork
princess
ambassador. Yeah, actually, I did a Facebook Live today for them. So I might be a little brain dead. I've been talking a lot today. I'm just but yeah. So we're excited. It's really neat. I'll let you know. I think. Oh, and we got John Solberg to be on the team, because he's my Instagram buddy, and it's just a unique group of people that we're all coming together to pool our talents and see what it's all about, and put A for effort and see how we do.
All right, so first and foremost, shout out to Eddie Medley.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of the show, and he's a big fan of when we do our segments together, all that stuff. Secondarily,
and he was my videographer tonight, filming for me.
Oh, perfect.
on
Yeah.
my Facebook.
So secondarily to that, you talk about Robert Sierra, you talk about all the other guys and gals that you have on the team. So when you're putting together the Pork Justice League of America, or whatever the team name is, how do you sketch out who you think you want to get? Are people giving you recommendations? How do you put together a team in order to try and do your best at maybe winning this whole damn thing?
Yeah. It's kind of funny, but I think a lot of it was my dad, is that he's such a hardcore networker, and he's on Facebook, he's like the mayor of barbecue. He's just always talking to people. And then I also think that we've gotten to know people, just all of us collectively. John and I know each other. John Solberg, who you've had on your show, who makes his own charcoal, and he's just an all around cool cook and does really out of the box stuff, which I find very interesting. He and I know each other through Instagram, and so and a lot of people are local to Memphis, and that way. And then a friend of my dad, which I think this will actually be awesome. She's actually a trained chef, and they used to work together, and her husband's Jamaican. And so they make some really kick-ass Jamaican food, and they're going to be cooking Jamaican at our tent. And I'm really stoked about it, because I love Jamaican food. And so anyway, I think it's just networking, and the barbecue community is it's so kind of like a family anyway. So a lot of different ways, but I do have to say my dad's been kind of chief talent scouting officer, just because he's he thinks about this team night and day. It's his dream. It's his baby.
No.
So, and he wants to create this environment where Hunter can grow up competing, and create a family legacy, which I think is cool. So that's kind of how it came to be.
Notoriously, Memphis and May, very expensive to compete for a number of different reasons. So,
yeah,
looking at it just from a very high level, and you have, obviously you're going to be going up against people that have won Memphis and May multiple times. Chris Lilly's won it 4 times. Mark Lambert's won it. You have Myra Mixon, who's won it 4 times. I'm sure Melissa Cookson's probably going to show up out of the blue. She's won it 3 times or whatever, amongst all the other great cooks. So, what are high-level team goals for you and the rest? Is it to go win at all costs? Is it just to show well and participate? Where you guys, where is the
Yeah.
benchmark for a successful Memphis in May first time in?
I think it would be to walk the stage for something, any category. I think would make us happy. One of the big categories would be nice. We're entering all of the categories, all the ancillary. I know like Antonio Chu placed number 2 for seafood last year. So I think they just competed locally at Tiger Lane. A lot of our guys on the ground in Memphis and did number 4 in ribs. So I feel like we've already got a good background in placing well. The woman, and I'm drawing a blank now, but the woman who's doing our sauce placed last year. So I feel like we've already got a lot of talent assembled that have a history of at least placing. So getting our collective efforts, I think the goal would be to at least place in something, to walk the stage.
When you get to a certain, so let's say you get through the blind box, now you're going to have to do the on-site judging. And presentation is involved in the pomp and circumstance that either people thrive on or people extremely dislike, and that's why they don't do it, or they get very uncomfortable. Is that going to be your wheelhouse? I mean, you're in sales, like I'm in sales, so, when the pressure's on, you make the pitch, you close the deal, or will that portion go to somebody else on the team?
God, I haven't even thought
You haven't
about that.
thought about that? What the hell? May's in 2 weeks. Oh, wow. You don't have a ringer coming out of the box. You're going to have to present, right? What? Oh,
yeah,
Robin.
I haven't even thought about it.
You were drinking a lot at all the other
that
ones.
May want to present it. Whoever cooked that category that they're, for that. I don't know. I don't know if they would pick me to do it. I feel like there is, whatever your category is, there is always the, what you're close to, and Patrick's doing the shoulder. So we may have to discuss that, I am a sweet talker though. And if a padded bra or a push-up bra would help our chances, I would not be, I could use the help, but,
Wow. All right. Well, I think you just increased attendance by 1,000%. Here we go. Everybody's going to be hanging out at Robin's tent. All right. So
let's not a ton to work with, but I'll work what I got.
Bullet point number 1. Let's figure out about on-site judging for sure. Okay. Have that discussion tomorrow. But outside of that, the situation that I always hear is, do we really have a shot because we're not on TV? For instance, Iowa Smoky D's pitmaster says, Darren Wharf says, I'm not in the cool kids club. I don't really know if I have a shot at winning. This guy is easily considered to be if not the best, one of the best competition cooks ever in the history of competition cooks. And he doesn't think he's got the cool kid club card. So do you worry about that at all? That inevitably somebody that wins is going to be a television person and they have that red light on mentality for that on-site judging?
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that have been on TV that don't actually do that well. Also, we had that conversation when we were hanging out, right? That a lot of people who have been on TV actually aren't always the stellar players on the competition circuit, but they are TV worthy based on their personalities and the blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that, gosh, you're going to have Tuffy Stone there. You'll have Melissa Cookston. You'll have the big leagues of Mike Mills. But there's still always teams that place, and no one's heard of them except for outside of Memphis in May, because they're in Mississippi or they're local. That who am I trying to think of? That's I'm having a break. I'm drawing a blank. But there are a lot of teams that are not on the circuit of pit masters and haven't been on Chopped Grill Masters and yada yada yada. So I think there's a little hype around that. I think people want to go a lot of times because there's a lot of big personalities there. But I think a lot of people too. Part of it is just a lot of hard work, and then I think some of it is luck, because sometimes I think the judging is a crapshoot too. So I think it's a lot of hard work and luck, and maybe a little luck thrown in.
Robin, we attended. We're going to pick this back up again next time you're on, at least for a lead-in, or what would be a soon after recap. We attended the HPB Expo in Atlanta a handful of weeks ago. Was there one or two things that you took out of that show that you think are either going to be trendy now for the rest of the year, or might trend next year because they're just kind of getting it introduced late? What did you take out of that?
Well, I felt like everybody there was making a Kamado. come on. It's like, I remember, I don't know if you were standing. No, you weren't with me at the time. I saw Ray Lampy and he's like, God, could there be any more fake green eggs in the building? You know, like everyone's making some kind of version of a Kamado. In fact, we went to get our picture taken and he's like, no, wait, we had to like, you know, he wanted to position himself in front of the egg, but it was hard because there's so many fake eggs hanging around. I think the other trend was that everyone's also making a pellet smoker now. But it doesn't mean that they're any good. You know, like we all know that Green Mountain Grills is the place for a pellet smoker. And you like that plug?
I do. Were you surprised that there were that many, I want to say ripoffs, but there were a lot of oddly, potentially illegal manufacturers there that, you know, were getting served, take that cooker right off the floor type of situation. I mean, I found it to be pretty odd that they were just kind of in your face like that.
Yeah, and there were so many blatant knockoffs from like China, right? Like remember we walked by that booth and it was like a total knockoff of like the Weber Genesis, maybe a couple years model, you know, back, but I mean exactly the same almost. I mean, chances are most of Weber's built or at least assembled in China. Who knows? But you know, but still, like it was just crazy how much knockoff was going on. And there were so many high-end grills too. I was just thinking to myself, who are they selling this price point to? But there must be a market for it because they're here and it's not cheap to, you know, be at an expo and it's not cheap to make these grills. Remember we saw some, they were like 12 grand and it was like half pellet smoker, half something else.
Oh yeah.
For a very unique individual that would want to buy that, you know? So it was interesting, but yeah, I think the theme was knockoff for both, you know, Kamados and then definitely pellet smokers are out there now, you know? So yeah, and then a lot of electronics built into everything, which I think I'm a fan. I think that's cool. And I also saw, like we said, a lot of very high price points that kind of surprised me, but clearly people buy them. I guess people buy Lamborghinis.
That's right. They sure
know?
do. Absolutely. We're talking with Robin Lindars. You can find her at grillgirl.com, and she is gearing up for Memphis in May. We can't wait to see how that works out. So if we don't talk to you prior, good luck. Otherwise, we're definitely getting the recap after the fact and the post-mortem. So continued success, Robin, and thanks so much for coming on as always.
Thank you. And I'll be live tweeting and streaming and everything from Memphis in May. So if you guys want to see what it's like backstage, definitely tune in. And yeah, I'll have a full recap, and we'll probably have to recruit you to the team next year, Greg, if all goes well.
Yeah, that probably won't happen, but I'm absolutely potentially available. But thank you very much.
There she is. Catch up. Thanks, everybody.
All right, you got it. There it is, Robin Lindars right there, inviting me potentially to next year's Memphis. I mean, that's very tough.
All guests on the Barbecue Central show appear via the Smithfield Hotline. Yummy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not like, I might go to cover, but I don't know if I'm going to go to compete. Like, I want to win, so I'm not saying that Robin's team isn't going to win. Let me get that right out in the open. That sounded very snotty of Robin, no offense. All right, folks, let me talk to you quickly about the longest-running sponsor of the show, located in Warminster, Pennsylvania, the Barbecue Guru. So if you've been thinking about automatic pit temperature control devices for your cooker, stop here. This is the company that started it all. They created this technology. So don't buy from anybody else, period. If you're not familiar with how they work, here you go. Some fans, some temperature control stuff. You set your pit temp, and the Guru maintains that pit temperature you set it at all the way through the cook, because maybe you're a busy working professional like me. Or perhaps you're constantly on the run with kids and you don't have the time to set around and 10 pit temperatures. This is where the Guru helps you. CyberQ Wi-Fi raging across marketplaces right now. Very popular. Can control up to 2 cookers at the same time, monitor multiple internal temperatures of meat, and most impressively, you can connect to it through any type of a smart device, computer, or netbook, and then you can check out your cooker right from there. You never have to get out of bed anymore. You don't even have to get out of bed to make temperature pit adjustments. If you're cooking too fast, you can ramp it down. If you're cooking too slow, you can ramp it up. Very easy. If you're in the market for a new cooker, of course, that new shotgun cooker that they just unveiled, That's going to be one you want to check out as well. Of course, works seamlessly with the Barbecue Pit Temperature Guru, with the Barbecue Guru Pit Temperature Control device. So here's what you do. Head on over to the website, bbqguru.com. Check out their products. If you have any questions about what to order, call them. Do not guess. Don't guess. Please don't. Save yourself the buyer's remorse or the guessing and call them. 800-288-GURU. 800-288-GURU. They'll make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. Again, the number 800-288-GURU or the website bbqguru.com. The Barbecue Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. That's right. I believe Bob and Big Mo were making new internet commercials recently. That is awesome-ified. Awesome-ified. All right, we are back to wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by CookinPellets.com. Your number one source for quality wood pellets for all of your pellet-driven cookers. You can visit CookinPellets.com for more information or to purchase. You can also purchase through Amazon.com. Download the Cookin' Pellets app right to your phone. You'll be alerted with all the special shipping rates when they do happen. I believe they're the only pellet manufacturer right now that has an app that you can put on their phone. Look at them. Chris Becker. You can also subscribe to twitch.tv or go to twitch.tv/Cookin' Pellets, I believe. COOKIN. And Chris goes live cooking there a few times a week, actually. Very, very cool to watch. Multiple cameras, that guy. Inside, outside, this angle, that angle. Very high tech. All right, thanks again to Robin Lindars for joining me this past segment talking about the lead up to Memphis in May. We did find out that currently there is no thought on who would be giving the on-site judging talk. Got to get that hammered out, Rob. I know nothing about competing. I know you need to have a closer in that booth in order to win. I think. Pervs, push-up bras, and miniskirts will be on display in her booth. Memo to Pervs. Memo to Pervs. All right. We're going to get ready for the second hour in which you will find, one, Michael McDermott. You will also find a chance to win a pair of Snake River Farms Wagyu T-bone steaks. $170 worth of steak coming your way. Free shipping, too. I'm not even going to charge you for the shipping. Got a pair of those to give away, and then another pair. So 4 in total, 2 winners, 2 each. We will do that in the 10:14 segment after we get off the phone with Michael McDermott. We also have Anella Kelso coming up after that. Talk about the Snake River Farms Brisket Challenge. Locations to be announced here on this show around the 10:35 mark. All right. We'll step away, reload, and when we come back, we will have the second hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe to this show via iTunes and all the other podcasts, whatnot, even email. If you go to my website, thebbqcentralshow.com, and then just click on any one of the episodes, click on More when it tells you to subscribe, and it brings you to a whole subscription page. Google Play, iTunes, TuneIn, email. It'll give you the feed, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the show. That way you never miss anything. You miss a 15-minute segment here on this show, you can always go back and get it. Podcast release 5 minutes till the top of the new day. Figure out what time that is. All right. We step away. We'll be back with more of the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. I'll be right back.
this is Bobby Rempe from Cleveland, Ohio, and you're listening to Barbecue Central.
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how you doing?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono. It's all about the charbono, dude.
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
All right, just like that, we are into the second hour. Friends, welcome aboard and congratulations. You have found the Barbecue Central Show. This is a show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. It happens every Tuesday. We originate from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, the barbecue capital of the North Coast, Cleveland, Ohio. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can do it by email. You can also do it by phone call. Here's how you do that.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the bbqcentralshow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
I do see barbecue food for you in the chat room, and I have to say that I have had no less than 7 emails from randos saying, hey, have you... And this is how the email sets up. Every single time, this is how the email sets up. Hey, Greg, big fan of the show, which, of course, may or may not be true. Have you ever thought about having any YouTubers on the show? Period, signed, no names, please. There you go. And I always reply back, did you have somebody in mind? Because I'm more than happy to reach out. 7 out of 7 times. Different people, by the way. Have that barbecue food for you on. He seems like a gas. And then I get out my pen and write back a note. Dear so-and-so, barbecue food for you really likes the recorded stuff, not the live stuff. Or he really likes to try and win stuff. So, there you go. However, if Kinger changes his mind and he wants to come on for a segment, he knows he's more than welcome. Would love to have him on the show. And if you don't watch him on YouTube, you should check him out. Barbecue Food for You. His handle there in the chat room is what you can find him at on YouTube. He makes that YouTube money. He's rich. He doesn't do my show because he's already rich. Doesn't matter, right? Hey, folks, the National Pro Barbecue Tour presented by Sam's Club rolled into Fort Collins, Colorado this past weekend. This was the last local qualifier that sends 6 teams to this coming weekend's first regional qualifier in Las Vegas, Nevada. Those teams moving on are, and in particular order, the reigning Pro National Barbecue Tour champion, now local qualifying GC, heading into the regional Las Vegas, Nevada this weekend. I am, of course, talking about Darren and Sherry Worth of Iowa Smoky D. With a 692.48, let's call it 692.5, just because we're rounding up for fun. Second place, Smokin' Boxers Barbecue, 680.5. Wow. Third place, Burnin' Bob's Butts and Bones. Fourth place, BS BBQ Outlaws. Fifth place, Smokin' Hot J's. Fifth place, La Pasadita. Is that right? La Pasadita. That's right. All of those 6 teams move on to this weekend's regional final. 10 of those teams this weekend will move on to the Bentonville final. That takes place on September 7th. So good luck to everybody that's going to be competing. Very exciting. Now, as I always love to do. Take first place score, 692.5. Second place score, 680.5. I'm no mathematician, as I was able to explain to you in the first hour, but quick math tells you that Darren and Sherry Worth really put the beat down on the rest of the field. The point separation between 1 and 2, was 12 points. 12 points. Remember, if you're a fan of the show and we go over these scores, there's times week in and week out that 1 and 2 are separating by a point or 2 or way less than that. Between 1 and 6, oh boy, that is serious math right there. Almost 20, 18 points. 18 points. Wow. They came and showed out in Fort Collins, Colorado in the thin air. I guess it was the high air. Well, in Colorado, it's high air, everybody. Right? See what I did there? I made a pot joke. Grass, weed, hippie lettuce, ganj, the burn. I got an email from Andy Rue, R-E-W. Hey, Greg, I got like 8 people to vote for you to get into the Hall of Fame. Plus, I imagine most Centralites also did the same thing. So if you don't get in this year, I think we should start an investigation into voter fraud and find out who's on the committee. I agree with you on that. I don't really. First of all, Andy, thank you for your support of me and you nominating me for consideration. Because I do want to pick apart that email just to make sure that everybody listening in podcast understands what my call to action was for. And that was for you to send in something for consideration of nomination. So I'm imagining that there's going to be a list of people that were nominated. And now there's going to be some type of a discussion as to how these people are going to be classified, whether it be celebrity, journalist, humanitarian, whether it be business, whether it be pitmaster. Those are the 3 current categories. And then they're going to section the people that are on this list into those groups, and then a debate will begin on this person should go in as this category, and this person should be the one in this category, and so on and so forth. So that's what the run was, and it stopped on the 14th, so we're, 2 weeks past at this point, or 1 week past almost. 1 week exactly, actually. No, not at all. It'll be 1 week on Thursday, I think. So the push was to get me into consideration, to have my name show up enough by however many different people to have me be part of a conversation. And on the very off chance that I get in this year, not that I expect to get in any year, but I'm just indulge the story, if you will, that if I get in this year, that I will be able to work from the inside at this point and see if I can't get these designations or these categories removed, and see if we can't have a huge year of like 100 or 500 people going into a Hall of Fame and building a broad base. And then being able to say, okay, going forward, every year we're going to have 5 people go in. And it's not going to have anything to do about categories. Some years it might all be this, or it might be a mix of this and that, or whatever. But we're going to have names to pick from. We will talk about who's eligible. We'll have to have an eligibility rule. And then we'll go from there. But the way it is set up now is a little in the dark. I have emails out to top people at the American Royal to come on this show and talk about this committee and who's on this committee and what kind of conversations are going to be had or have been had in recent years about how people are getting in and what those conversations are like. They should be more than happy to come on this show and talk about it. There should be nothing to hide. And that's why we did it's not because I want to get into the Hall of Fame. That's like saying I'm doing the podcast for money. I don't do this for money, and I don't do it to get into the Hall. I do it because I like it. I like doing the show every week. I like doing it for you. I like doing it for the live listeners. I like doing it for the podcasters. I like doing this. If nobody listened to the show, I would be doing this show because I like doing it. But that's what the idea was behind this year. And if I don't get in this year, you can bet your sweet ass about a year from now, we're going to be doing the same grassroots movement. Who's with me? 2018, here we go. So thank you, Andy Rue, for that email. And getting at least 8 of your other friends to cast my name into consideration. Thank you. I appreciate it. And can you imagine if I am going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Can you imagine the speech that will end all speeches? Folks, the Chops Power Injector System is the NBBQA 2015, 2016, 2017 Barbecue Tool of the Year. 3 years in a row. How great is this product? It's got to be really great because it's been the best barbecue tool voted 3 years in a row by people that know barbecue. The NBBQA. The number one seller continues to be the half-gallon Chops Power Injector System designed for the competition guy or gal or a backyard warrior like me. Easy to use, clean and fill it, pump it, and away you go. If you have one brisket or pork shoulder, you don't need to fill it all the way up. Put in what you need, it uses it all. Comes with a bunch of stuff. You pay $100. You pay the shipping. The 1 gallon Chops Power Injector System, designed for catering and bigger jobs. It holds double the amount of the half gallon, obviously. Some use it in competitions like MBN Whole Hog, or maybe you're doing 10 shoulders trying to find a perfect one. This one also comes with the same a lot of stuff as the half gallon. This one's $120. You also pay the shipping. And then you have the Chops Full Power Injector System. It's electric and is the commercial and competition Big Daddy. Not a holding tank this time like the other two, but a 3.5-foot pickup tube. You can put in any size container from a few ounces to a 55-gallon drum. It was designed for Chef Rob at the best barbecue restaurant in Kansas City, and he has said time and time again, his briskets are better than ever since he's used it. You get a whole bunch of stuff with this one at $325, plus you pay shipping also. The top pit masters in the world use it. You should use it. Here's the deal. We live in a foodie world. You got to have flavor in every bite. This is how you do it and do it fast. It's not just for meat. You can inject alcohol into fruit, or you can inject alcohol into meat it doesn't have to be just about meat. Extra accessories. You want them, they got them. You want to shoot medium ground spices, they got you covered for that. They also have a great upgrade you can buy to make your Chops Injector bulletproof. Metal needle adapters. How about that? Go to barbecuekansascity.com. That's BARBEQUE, barbecuekansascity.com. Chops Power Injector System gives your barbecue some power. Matt Boer, shout out to Central Lights for the regulars. If I get in, absolutely. Absolutely. If you filled out the form for me to get nominated for consideration and I get in, and you're a regular Central Light, you will get mentioned. Reward. All right, we're back right after.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, this portion of the show being brought to you by Unknown Smoker Accessories, purveyors of made in the USA stainless steel barbecue and smoker lid hinges, barbecue accessory hangers, rocket hot chimney grillers, heavy-duty aluminum foil dispensers. Fine products from Unknown Smoker Accessories keeps your gear where it needs to be at arm's length, ready for battle. By the way, Rocket Hot Chimney Grillers also available for sale at BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BigPapaSmokers.com. As I've said before, showing that teamwork and partnership is also not a bad thing when it comes to doing all this barbecue and grilling stuff. So unknownbbq.com/shop. That's unknownbbq.com/shop. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Call. What? Now I don't know. Is this going to be Michael? Got some other guy, too, on the phone. This is weird, bizarre. All right, let's go to the phone. Enough small talk. McD's on the line. McD. Oh, Lord. McD.
You there?
Guess what? I am now.
I can hear you.
All right.
I can hear you.
Are you calling me on another line?
No.
No? All right. All right. Dump that person. He's out of here. Or she. I don't know. I just see a number, so it could be a he or she. All right. Michael McDearman is here.
It was the Hall of Fame calling.
Oh, I don't. Trust me, it is not the Hall of Fame calling. You know as well as I do that's not the case. But thanks for the sentiment, Michael. We have the first regional, if you can believe it, we have the first regional final coming up this weekend in Las Vegas. The Pro National Barbecue Tour presented by Sam's Club. You're into your fourth season here as tour director. As you've seen that first round of locals kind of come and go, and we're leading into that first regional, as I just mentioned, in Vegas, how are you seeing that first part of the season unfold, and has there been any surprises or out of the blues, or some of the things that you're seeing weekend in, weekend out there on the Sam's Tour?
You know what I love about the West Coast Tour, and I really do feel like it's a West Coast swing coming through, all the way up from Arizona, then you're hitting Nevada, and then up into the Pacific Northwest with Renton, Washington, and then we come back to the mountains. The different flavor profiles and the different techniques and types of smokers they're using in each region are really interesting. I mean, you go up into the Pacific Northwest and the humidity and the things that are always around with the rain in the Seattle area, that's got more moisture in the air. And of course, down in the desert Southwest, you can get away with a little bit, but you're concerned about wind. There's different techniques and different experiences there when you get going through these cooks. And having done it for a few years, I've gotten to see the different areas of the country, and it really does. Folks adapt, and true pit masters at work, having to battle the elements when you've got 40-mile-an-hour winds at 5:30 in the morning, and then we start with rain. That was Salt Lake City. And, the Salt Lake City event was actually quite wet this year. Then we've got to Fort Collins, which the previous years were snow and rain. This year was sunny and mid-70s, so it was gorgeous. But you've got altitude in Fort Collins. Mm-hmm. So cooks are taken into account, thinking, okay, how far above sea level am I, and what's the boiling point going to be, and is my brisket really going to have to go up to just 203, or am I going to push it on through and try and get to the 208 that I usually do in a normal contest, say in Tennessee? So a lot of different things that these pit masters are taking into account, and I think it's going to be a very interesting Las Vegas event.
Do you find that there is any type of difference in flavor profiles as you go into a Pacific Northwest, or if you're down in the desert Southwest, or if you're into that Colorado area, or is a profile pretty much similar no matter what region you're in at this point?
I think you'll find, depending on the stop you're in, there's cabinet smokers, there's Jambos, and there's Weber Smoky Mountains, whatever you want to look at, and of course drums. But I think when you look at, say, up towards the Northwest, there might be, because of the moisture content in the air, there might be a little bit more smoke adhering than, say, down in the desert. But it's also, your palates are going to be different because you're dried out more down in the desert as a judge. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as far as the flavor profiles, I think sometimes you got to come a little stronger, or think about maybe just a little bit more salt, or how you're reverse engineering what layers you're going to add and what you want the judge to have on their tongue first.
Michael McDearman joining me here on the show, talking a little Sam's Club as we run up to the first regional final that'll be taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada this weekend. There's going to be 30 top teams that have been able to qualify. You're taking the top six out of the local events and then dumping those new 30 into the regional. 10 will move on to the Bentonville final after that in September. When you look at the 30 teams that are going to be contending for this weekend, I think it is very easy, Michael, and I'm sure you'll agree that everybody's going to want to hold Iowa Smoky D's off to the side here and say prohibitive favorite to no doubt finish top 10 to move on to the final, but probably a really good heavy favorite to win this thing. They won by 12 points last week the 12-point drop between 1 and 2 is absolutely huge. They're the current Pro National Barbecue Tour presented by Sam Club champions. They've been to every finals that has ever been when it's been Sam's Club or when it's been the Pro National Barbecue Tour. So this is a team that has always been a great competition team, but over the last handful of years somehow has really stepped it up another notch.
Yeah, and great people too. And that's what I love about the sport is you look at the people and it's just warm-hearted, shirt off your back type. I frankly, last year there was a team that came in late and Darren may not necessarily go around spreading this story, but I will because I think he's a great guy for doing this type of thing. He made sure the team coming in that was driving all night to get there from the Western Regional, he got them all their meats for them, had it ready for them. I mean, just fantastic, warm, giving person. But yeah, as far as competition wise, I'm sure since we're in Vegas, odds-on favorite would be to look sort of in Iowa Smoky D's. The odds would be good.
Do you think that teams are coming in a hope to be a top 10 finisher, or do you believe that all these teams at this point now, and maybe it's the same mindset in the locals, but in the regional, you're coming to win, not just get a top 10 to move on to Bentonville?
$10,000 contest at the local is a good amount of money for a contest. Then we move on to the regional at $20,000. It's no chump change. Yep. We're ready to. They're coming and bringing their best. They want to have a great day, and they're not playing for 10th. They want first. I don't hesitate to say that every team would go after the grand championship, and then do they settle and are they happy in 10th? Absolutely, because they get to go to the richest payday in barbecue for $150,000, and in Bentonville, Arkansas. The National Pro Barbecue Tour, granted, it's Sam's Club, it's in Bentonville, but it's got a lot of other sponsors in there too that help us get along the way, and those folks will be there in Bentonville as well.
If people are
we're going to have some actually in Las Vegas too. Now we'll have Cargill, Smithfield, as well as New Zealand Lamb that'll be sampling in Vegas.
If you're going to be around Vegas for whatever reason, if it wasn't specifically to come there for the barbecue contest, what can a person that might be kind of tooling around be able to expect? And is it a spectator friendly event?
The regionals have a little bit more activity going on. Of course, you've got your contest going on, and these folks are going to be hard at it. To see some of the best pit masters in action is always a treat, and I'm lucky enough to do it week in and week out. But if you're in the Vegas area, definitely come out to the Sam's Club on Serene, and you'll be able to see some of the greatest pit masters working. Smithfield has got a local pit master cooking up some rib samples for you, and then also, too, you'll have some samples from New Zealand Lamb, which is always a treat to me. I usually wind up gnawing on one of those bones off in a corner somewhere. But then also Cargill will be producing some great beef. So inside the club will be some samples, but also outside the club. So it's just come and with an appetite, and then also with a notepad, so you can write down some shiggin, some notes, and some tricks.
Michael McDearman is the National Pro Barbecue Tour director, presented by Sam's Club and a host of the other sponsors that he had just mentioned. And the first regional final will be taking place this weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. Very excited to see how it shakes out, as I'm sure you are, Michael, and always appreciate the time here, man.
Anytime, Greg. Thanks for having me.
That's him, Michael McDearman. Helping me out here. Appreciate that. So good luck to everybody that's going to be competing in the National Pro Barbecue Tour first regional final. And again, that's the top 6 teams. No, that's the top 10 teams that will be competing. Okay, let's try it again. The top 10 teams, finish-wise, will move on to the Bentonville, Arkansas final event. All right, now, as promised, your opportunity to win a pair of 2-pound T-bone Wagyu Snake River Farms steaks right now. Here we go. Call in. As a matter of fact, this is how you call in.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the bbqcentralshow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
I didn't think there was going to be any shortage of calls trying to get in tonight. 414, name and where you're calling from.
Tim from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
All right, Tim. Are you ready to play a game for your chance to win what would be in total 4 pounds of Wagyu T-bone beef for the exact sum of $0.00 after shipping?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, do you want to play athlete or porn star, cheese or font, or winery or rehab?
Let's do athlete.
Athlete or porn star. It's always the favorite game. Got to get 3 out of 5 correct here, Tim. Here we go. The first name is Misty Rain. Athlete or porn star? Misty Rain.
Definite porn star.
Definite. Definite porn star. All right. Lock you in. You seem very confident with that answer, Tim. Misty Rain, indeed. Porn star. All right. Tim on his porn. Good job, Tim. Here we go. Tell me, Tim, is Juliet Cantalupi a porn star or athlete?
One more time with her name?
Julieta Cantalupi.
Julieta. I can't say I've ever heard it. So I'm going to have to say athlete.
All right. Lock you in on athlete. Julieta Cantalupi, athlete. Look at you. She's a gymnast, by the way. So might as well be a porn star. Just kidding. All right, here we go. Last one for you to win. Well, you have many other chances, but this is, you get this one and you win. Tell me, is Ivana Mandic porn star or athlete?
Boy, that sounds too much irony in that last name, but I'm going to have to go athlete.
All right. Think I'm going with the funny name for porn? Making it an athlete? Final answer?
Yep.
All right, let's see what happens. For 2-pound steaks from Snake River Farms. You're right, she's an athlete. Perfect. Well, you are some kind of player, Tim, I must say. So here's what you do. Send me your shipping info, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. And I will run that over to Anella Kelso, and you will have in your mitts 2-pound T-bone Wagyu from SnakeRiverFarms.com. How about that?
Outstanding. Thanks.
All right. You got
Anella,
it.
Snake River Farms, and Greg.
You got it. Oh, sorry about that. I just hung up on something. All right, Tim, thanks for playing. Whoever was just calling, I mean, there's multiple people calling right now, of course. But what can I tell you? Let's see. Oh, all right. Well, just cleared the phone line, so now we can keep going. Kinger hates these games, by the way, because he never gets them right. Of course. All right, who's on the line?
Chris.
Chris. How are you tonight, Chris?
I'm doing great. Hit him with the high.
Hit him with the high. Here we go. That's right. Love hit him with the high. Hit him with the high. All right, you want to play athlete or porn star, Chris?
Athlete.
All right. Wow, everybody's down with the athlete or porn star. Sorry, cheese and wine. Remember, you got to get 3 out of 5 here. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, Chris, tell me, is Sarah Vandella an athlete or porn star?
Athlete.
All right. Sarah Vandella, athlete. Lock you in. Sarah Vandella, indeed. Porn star. Sorry about that. Gotta know your porn stars. All right, here we go.
Catch up on that.
Next one is Riley Steele, an athlete or porn star. Riley Steele.
My heart says porn star, but I'm going to guess athlete.
All right. Let's see here. Lock you in on athlete. Riley Steele, indeed. Porn star. Oh, jeez. Now you got to get the next three right here, Chris, in order to win the stakes. Here we go. Is Candy Maldonado a porn star or an okay?
Used to play for the Brew Crew. He's a athlete.
All right, athlete it is. Lock you in on athlete. Candy Maldonado is indeed an athlete. Nice. All right, he actually played for the Cleveland Indians too, but I digress. All right, Chris, gotta get the next two. Here we go. Tell me, is gotta pick one. Is Lars Boom athlete or porn star? Lars Boom.
Let's go athlete.
All right, athlete. Lock you in. Lars Boom, indeed. Athlete. Very good. Very good. All right, it's all coming down to this one now, Chris. Oh, it's very exciting.
Roll the marbles.
Are you excited?
Roll the marbling.
That's right.
You betcha.
Whoop, whoop. Here we go.
Whoop, whoop.
Chris, tell me, is Karen Cockburn an athlete or porn star?
Can you say the name again?
Karen Cockburn.
That's an athlete.
Am I being tricky? Am I not being tricky? Athlete. Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
All right. For 2-pound Snake River Farm Wagyu T-bone, Karen Cockburn, athlete.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey!
All right, Chris, so just like Tim before you, send me your shipping info, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and we'll get the stakes out to you here shortly.
Awesome. Thanks, Rumpy. I really appreciate it.
And as they say in France, Baba Booey to y'all. Thanks very much.
Whoop, hit him with the high.
That's right. Here we go. All right, there we go. Hit him with the high. Look at Chris. All right, that's it. Stakes over, baby. And perfect timing, I might add. All right, Danella, I'll be sending you over Chris and Tim's shipping addresses after the show. You get ready to get on this show. 906. Was that who I was just talking to? 906? Yeah, I guess. That's fun. That game's fun. That game's fun. The bad news is there's only Cheeser Font or Winery and Rehab left because we won or we've used all the porns and the athletes. All right, folks, if you are like me, you want to step up the barbecue and grilling game, here's an easy way to do it. Head on over to butcherbbq.com. That's right. We all know Butcher's well known for the injections. We all know Butcher's well known for the barbecue sauces. We all know Butcher's well known for the rubs. All of the rubs. Now, perhaps you're looking for a few new products. Well, have I got something to tell you about. If you are a little dim-witted, if you don't understand the very simple instructions on how to make an injection, mixing powder and some type of liquid, if you can't fathom how to do that, Dave Bosca has thought of you, and now in the pork and the beef, you have already made injection in a bottle ready to use. Go to butcherbbq.com. Get the bottles that are already pre-made. You have zero thinking to do. He's taken the stupid right out of it. In fact, stupid people encouraged to buy because you can't mess it up. As long as you have an injector, all you need to do. Let me tell you this. If you have a CHOPS power injector system, you can unscrew the top and you can buy a case of the pre-made injections and dump them all in there. Then pump up the CPI and you're off and running. You can use 2 sponsors in one. How about that? Dave has taken extreme guesswork out of it. You can't screw it up. Buy the already mixed injection in a bottle. It's injection in a bottle for pork and for beef. And while you're there, after you buy all the rubs and the sauces as well, I might recommend grilling oil. Oh, it's so divine. Shelf stable. Sits right out there on top of the oven or the stove or the countertop. You can take it out to the grill with you. Doesn't need to be refrigerated. Don't worry about it. It's great. There's butter flavor, which is one of my personal favorites. There's also steakhouse. There's also Chipotle. Hook up with it. You're going to be happy. ButcherBBQ.com. That's ButcherBBQ.com. Anela Kelso joins me here out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Let me get to my number. The biggest name in pork, bringing you great opportunities this barbecue season. Get smoking with Smithfield and their Committed Cooks program. Go to this website to learn more about it or to sign up. Smokin', S-M-O-K-I-N, smokinwithsmithfield.com. I think for $20, they send you back like $100 or more worth of stuff. So return on investment is substantial. We'll see how it goes the rest of the year, but smokinwithsmithfield.com. All right. Joining me now, as promised, is the face of Snake River Farms, at least for us competition and backyard types. They will be continuing the Snake River Farms Brisket Challenge this year. Locations to be announced here during this segment. We just gave away 758,000 pounds of T-bone Wagyu steak. Thanks to her and Snake River Farms. Anela Kelso joining me here on the show. Anela, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, thanks.
Well, and thank you for the giveaway. That's always fun and exciting, isn't it?
Everyone always loves free stuff, so we just like to make people happy.
You know, I don't know if you knew it or not, but rule number 3 of this show, if you didn't know, if it's free, it's me. That's right.
That's right.
I have that tattooed on me somewhere, I think. But
we know how to keep people happy.
Might be on my back. Yeah, so we certainly appreciate the giveaways that you do every time you're here on the show, or even when you're not on the show, you're always giving away stuff. So we certainly appreciate that here. Let's go ahead and kind of dive right into it and talk about the Snake River Farms Brisket Challenge. And before we announce locations for this season, back it out and kind of give me that weeds explanation of what it is, how you qualify, how you can win, what you get, all that good stuff.
So we started the challenge, and we didn't even know it was really a challenge when we first started it. This is our 4th year doing it. The first year we did it, it was one contest in California. It was kind of my first year in barbecue, and went out to California and kind of did this challenge. And we were like, God, if we could just say, hey, if you cook Snake River Farms briskets and you win, we want to give back to you. And so I think Vicious Smoke, I think Steve Aguilar was the first person to win a challenge. And then the next year it just kind of grew, and the next year it kind of grew, and the next year it kind of grew. So this year it's grown. So we went from 1 contest to 2 contests to 4 contests to I think this year we're doing 7, wow. 6 or 7 contests. And so we essentially go out, we come out to these contests, and we kind of email everybody before and let them know that we're coming out and this is what we're doing, and give people the chance to get SRF briskets if they're not, used to cooking them, or if they are. And if you cook an SRF brisket and you win the brisket category, we put up an extra $1,000, and we give a custom SRF Gateway drum smoker. So it's $2,000 plus prize package, and the only way you can get those SRF drum smokers is to win them at a challenge. And I think to date I've only ever seen one that someone actually uses. They're kind of considered trophies, and so Darren has one, Travis has I think two. Scott Rodriguez out in California, he actually uses his. I saw him using his on Facebook a couple weeks ago. And then what we do for the GC is if the GC cooks SRF and when they win GC, then we give them their choice of 2 briskets. We at first always kind of said, oh, you get gold grade briskets, but some people like the black briskets better than gold briskets, so we just give them their choice and hook them up with a couple briskets. And so that's kind of what we do, and we've tried the last few years to expand and to go to more parts of the country, and the Northeast East Coast and Northeast has always said, hey, you never come up here, so surprise, we're going up there this year. We're going down south, we're going West Coast, we're kind of going a little bit of everywhere this year, so it should be exciting.
Do you need, or do you decide what contest you want to go to, then you have to get in contact with the organizer and say, is it all right if we set up something like this, or do you just kind of show up guerrilla warfare? What's the deal there?
So we I'm kind of the queen of guerrilla marketing. If you've ever seen me at the American Royal, or almost any event that I go to, I show up with like a little red wagon and I load it up with swag. It's my swaggin', and I cruise all through the event and I see people, and it's kind of what we do, but we've kind of gotten a little more professional. We actually had an application process this year, so we put that out there, and promoters were able to go out and give us their information. The first time it started, when we very first started this, it was just kind of by word of mouth. It was, hey, I know a lot of teams, and so the teams were like, hey, you should really talk to these promoters because this is a really great contest. And when I look, I don't just look at the stats of the event. We look at a lot of things, and truthfully, I talk to a lot of teams, and I find out what events they like to be at. Travis spoke earlier tonight on Chad's show about the Green Bay Masters in May and the Green Bay contest. They do such an amazing job. And, those are the contests that teams want to go to. And so those are the contests we want to help out and we want to be a part of as well. So now we've got a little more professional. We bring the big checks. We have signage. We reach out to all the teams and offer them, a promotion so that they can, buy the brisket to get into the contest. And so those are the kind of things that we do going out. And then, then we hang out all weekend and visit with everybody. We get involved. We do, like if you have a kids queue at your event, we're more than happy to put up product for kids queue. We're doing a couple of SCA events that are incorporated with the SRF Challenge events, as well as additional events that we're doing SCA events for this year. So we're just kind of cruising, trying to be out there and be involved, give back to the folks who, take care of us.
Anela Kelso joining me here on the show. SnakeRiverFarms.com is the website if you want to check it out if you've never been over there. Prepare to salivate, of course. But here's the question that I want to ask you. If you've never cooked a Snake River Farms brisket before, if you've been, maybe Prime, or maybe you're just, the guy that goes to BJ's or Sam's Club and just kind of buys whatever's on the rack. In your estimation, or from what you hear from other pitmasters, what's the biggest difference if you're going to cook a Snake River Farms Wagyu beef brisket versus something you might be used to cooking otherwise?
Some people say that they cook a little quicker. I would probably put that question out to the pit masters who are out there, the folks that are in your chat room and stuff. They they cook them day in and day out. That's all I've ever cooked. I've cooked one choice brisket ever, but I always cook Wagyu. I think that the biggest thing is knowing that internal marbling is just going to give you a better, more consistent chance at putting something in a box that's going to be awesome and stay awesome. Like, you don't always know how long your box is going to sit, before it's going to hit a judge's table and those kind of things. And we just provide a really super consistent product that sits well and eats well, and the next day makes really great brisket quesadillas. And so, I think it's kind of up to your preference. I always kind of tell people when they say, hey, I cook Prime, what should I cook? What should I start? What should I go black or gold? I always kind of say, start with black, kind of see what you think. But a lot of people, cook those golds and continually just do amazing with them. And I like to say we have the winningest brisket in barbecue. I think our numbers prove that.
Is it just a grading thing between the black and the gold? Is there more marbling and more of the stuff you would expect to go from one level to the next?
Yeah, it's on the Japanese grading scale. So prime kind of sits at a 4. It's a scale from 1 to 12. Prime sits at a 4. Our black grade is between a 5 and a 9. Our gold grade is between a 9 and a 12.
That's pretty high stuff. Pretty quality stuff, right?
Yeah, it's the best you can get.
Do you think that judges are becoming accustomed to, or I don't want to ever say expecting, but maybe expecting? Do you think that judges are able to? Okay, let me rephrase again. Do you think judges are able to tell between a perfectly cooked gold Snake River Farms brisket and a perfectly cooked any other brisket?
I think so, personally.
So here's my question, and this certainly isn't anything negative to you guys, but do you think that judges might be unknowingly becoming accustomed to looking for that when they're tasting, or do you think that it hasn't really approached that level yet?
Oh, no, I think it's approached that level. I think it's approaching that level with everything. Maybe not so much chicken, but I think that when you look at the heritage breeds of pork, you look at people who are cooking Duroc, people that are cooking Berkshire. It's the flavor profile is just so different. It's no different than when you talk about our hams. You've had our ham, and you say it's like your special occasion ham at home.
Yep.
It's not something that you're going to go out every weekend when you're getting ready to buy ham to make ham sandwiches, but it's something that you're going to spend the extra on, and your family has now been trained to be like, nope, that's the one that we want. And so I think that that's where you look at people of the palates of folks that are not just in competitive barbecue, but I think we're becoming more of a foodie society, and so I think that people are expecting you go to restaurants such as Cheesecake Factory, and you can order the American Wagyu burger now, and so you've got these folks that are saying no, we want better, and so do I think that it's an unfair advantage? I'm not going to say that, because obviously I'm in the business of selling briskets.
Right.
And, the more, I'll just say, we started a 180 club last year, and we had 61 entries and 75 perfect briskets last year.
75
perfect
wow.
briskets. Yeah.
That's a lot.
And so I think that speaks volumes to the consistency and the quality of the product that people are cooking.
All right, so let's talk about locations. Where are we? Let me do this.
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
All right, it's Greg Rempe at the Breaking News Desk here in Cleveland, Ohio, getting ready to announce the 2017 Snake River Farm Brisket Challenge locations, and we throw it to Anella Kelso. Anella, are you there?
I am here.
Oh, good.
So we're super excited to announce where we're going to be. I'm super excited that to say that we are not going to be at any event that we've ever been at before.
Oh.
We are kind of stepping way out of our box this year. The first contest we're going to be at is in May and is in Evans, Georgia. It's the Papa Joe's Banjo BQ. The second, these are not some of them. We have a couple that are still outstanding, but these are the ones we know for a fact we're going to be at. We're going to be at the Sun Barbecue Fest at the Mohican Sun in Hartford, Connecticut, up in the Northeast there.
Nice.
We are traveling back out to Wisconsin, and we're going to do the Death Store doubleheader out there with Tim and those guys out on Washington Island, which I've heard is just fantastic. I can't wait. I'm super excited for that one. We're going to be at the Big Brothers Big Sister Riverfest in Decatur, Alabama. And this one might be a big shocker to everyone. We're going to be at the Rockin' Brews and Barbecue Festival in Boise, Idaho. Yep, that's right. Boise's doing, this is the second year for that contest, and we kind of figured it's in our hometown. We have to support it.
Yeah, right.
And we're excited. We're excited to do that. And then apart from that, we have we have a couple of folks that are getting back to us and hadn't got back to us yet. And so we know that we're doing one in California. We don't know for sure exactly which contest it's going to be in California yet. It'll be later this summer. So we will be back out in California. That's where we started. We can't skip the Left Coast kids. And then we're also looking. We also have a couple of folks in the center of the country that we're talking to as well.
So well represented. Backyard, Idaho. Definitely a California situation. Alabama.
Oh, it's not a backyard in Idaho.
Boise.
It's not a backyard contest. It's a full contest.
No. Like backyard to you.
Oh, that it's in our backyard. Yeah, we've got to support that one.
Absolutely. Alabama, Wisconsin, Connecticut, Georgia. I mean, literally all kind of bouncing around all over the place. Have you been to any of these places before? Not necessarily competitions, but like those states, or is this all brand new for you as well?
I stopped in Decatur to have lunch at Big Bob Gibson's on my way back from the Jack one year.
Right.
I've been to Unadilla in Georgia and Wisconsin. We did the Packers. We did the Lambeau Field event last year. So apart from, so I've kind of been in the States a little bit, but we've never come out to contests out there.
Well, the 2017 Snake River Farms Brisket Challenge is on. We've just announced at least 5, no less than 5 dates that are confirmed, and competitions are confirmed. Now, what can I say, man? I always appreciate you supporting the show and the giveaways and with your appearances and giving out these informational items to the Centralites. Continued success, and I can't wait till we talk again.
Anytime. We love being here.
Appreciate it. There she is. Fenella Kelso. How about that? 5 events on the docket.
All guests on the Barbecue Central show appear via the Smithfield Hotline. Yummy.
For the Snake River Farms Brisket Challenge. How about that? So if you use a Snake River Farms brisket and you win, you get an extra $1,000 over and above anything else you might win. And you get a special Snake River Farms Gateway Drum Smoker. So right around $2,000 total prize purse just from Snake River Farms. How about that? Plus, Tim and Chris won free steak tonight by knowing their athletes and porn stars. Look at them. Plus, Chris is obviously a huge Howard Stern fan, which I am too. All right, Cook Shack manufactures smoker ovens for barbecue lovers with any amount of experience, whether you barbecue in the backyard, on the competition circuit, or in a 5-star dining facility. Cook Shack has the unit that will do the job. And with a full line of barbecue sauces, spices, pellets, and wood chunks, it's the perfect one-stop shop. Cook Shack strives to be your barbecue resource center by offering cooking classes, online recipes, how-to videos, 2 blogs, smoke and grilling 101s, and a video cooking classroom. Check out their website, cookshack.com, or follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, and Google+. Get advice or share your passion for barbecue on their world-class barbecue forum. Cook Shack pellet-fired smokers are the choice of champions because they were designed by a champion, Ed Fast Eddie Morin. I got to get him back on the show. Love it. The FEC 100 and the PG 1000 are always customer favorites. The PG 1000 can actually double as a smoker and a grill, low and slow or hot and fast. The pellet grill line gives you the most for your money. Cook Shack residential electric smokers are the #1 smoker in the industry. High quality means high durability and versatility. Anything you can cook in your oven, you can make in a Cook Shack. Passion and dedication drives Cook Shack's manufacturing, with quality being the top priority. Get the best in barbecue since 1962. Call 800-423-0698. That's 800-423-0698. We are back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, this portion of the show is being brought to you by the 2017 National Pro Barbecue Tour presented by Sam's Club. 31 cities, $500,000 in cash. Eternal bragging rights if you win the whole thing. This weekend, as we had discussed with McD at the top of the hour here, the Pro Barbecue Tour rolls into Las Vegas, Nevada for the very first regional final. To get more info on the tour, register your team to compete, or check results at any point. You can visit kcbs.us/Sam's Tour. That's kcbs.us/Sam's Tour. All right. For quick review, state-wise on the Snake River Farm Brisket Challenge, Evans, Georgia, Connecticut is in, Decatur, Alabama is in, Wisconsin is in, and Boise, Idaho. Don't say Boise. They will laugh you right out of the stands there, buddy. It's Boise, just like it's spelled. Just like my last name, R-E-M-P-E, Rempe, not Remke. There's no K in my name. My daddy didn't put a K in my name. Say it right, Remke. It's not that, Rempe. Say it that. And it's not like Ren and Stimpy. It's not like that.
Get that big stuff out of here.
So thanks to Anella for releasing the dates for the Snake River Farm Challenge. Once again, congratulations to Tim and Chris winning the pair. So 4 total, 2 pairs of 2-pound each T-bone Wagyu Snake River Farm steaks. Ooh, somebody's going to be eating good here this coming weekend or the weekend after that or whatever it is. So thanks again to Anella for doing that. Appreciate it. Very good. All right, let's wrap it up. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Randall Bowman, DeepSouthSmokers.com, also Kansas City Barbecue Society, KCBS.us. 9:35, we talked with Robin Lindars, the Grill Girl. GrillGirl.com is her website. She's gearing up for Memphis in May. Got her team together, working out some finer detail at this point. So we'll either get a chat with her right before that weekend's competition or get the postmortem after the fact. That'll be exciting. We wish Eddie Medlin and the rest of the team, to include Robin, high success. We'll see what happens. Can you imagine if they pull off grand champion? Oh, that'll be a great story to recount. Then in the second hour, we talked with Michael McDearman, Sam's Club Tour Director, the National Pro Barbecue Tour presented by Sam's Club Tour Director. And we ended it with Anella Kelso, SnakeRiverFarms.com. Big show planned next week, believe it or not. Big show. No names please, national volleyball team may or may not have qualified for nationals. We'll see about that. I'll tell you what I hope for next week, not this week. September 11th, 2001, I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.